Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ben Stacy. This is Monday Night Brew. Welcome to the Sports Beer Jokes YouTube channel. If you're a big fan of watching sports, drinking beer, and joking around with your best friends, well, same. So this is a community of like-minded individuals. How about you come join us? I'm a little tired today. My voice sounds a little raspy. I had a long weekend of watching football and drinking beer with my friends. So, hey, you know who you're talking to. I'm Sports Beer Jokes, buddy. Can't blame me. But let's talk some football. You know, obviously, NFL started. Sunday was absolutely magical. I was watching Red Zone. And to be quite honest, I live for days like Sunday, man. It was beautiful. The New Orleans Saints 47-10 the Carolina Panthers. I already ripped a glazed talk on TikTok and Instagram, so y'all know I was fired up Sunday. But today's not Sunday, today's Monday, and this is Monday Night Brew, so obviously I've had a night to kind of digest, calm down, and really have a clear head about things. Now, I don't care how you chop it up. I know it's the Panthers, but putting up 47 is absolutely electrifying, especially once you consider that we ended the season putting up 48 on Atlanta at the end of last year. So this is now back-to-back games where we put up 47-plus points on a division rival. Our offense is firing on all cylinders. I love it. Let's hope this isn't a fluke and Kubiak really did turn this offense around. We definitely have the weapons. It's really just on Carr and on Kubiak. Big test in Dallas next week, and I know the boys are excited for it. I'm excited for it. The whole locker room's fired up. We're going to go in there with something to prove, just like we went into the Dome yesterday with something to prove. Defense playing with their hair on fire. Offense playing good complimentary ball. Alontae Taylor is now leading the team in sacks. Might even be leading the NFL. Who else got 3 sacks in the first game? As a DB, that's actually crazy. And I'll close it with this. The last time the Saints put up 40-plus points in the opener, we won the Super Bowl. So, great way to kickstart things off. Who dat till I fucking die? So I'm kind of putting the pieces together on Monday Night Brew. Obviously, it's only the second episode, so here's how we're going to structure these little quick episode recaps, if you will. We opened it up talking some Saints football, as we should, as we just did. So now we'll move on to some Tiger football, which is what we'll do right now. And then we'll finish it off in the third section, talking about anything NFL or college football related that I just want to talk about that's happening from any of the other sorry, pathetic teams. So yeah, real quick, obviously not much to say about LSU. We boat raced Nichols as we should. It was a little bit too close in the first half. And then obviously they had that big touchdown at the very beginning of the second half, which made it like 21-23, I believe. Obviously frustrating, but hey, we were on a short week with some jet lag coming back from Vegas, 2 time zones over. I would like to see a more dominating and complete performance, but hey, we still beat them by 23. It's on to South Carolina now. It does feel good to be in the win column, don't get me wrong, but really our first win is going to be this Saturday in Columbia. This team is still putting the pieces together, man. We really haven't seen it at its full potential yet, which makes me excited. Brian Kelly in his press conferences has talked a lot about how we haven't played great complementary football as of yet. You know, when the defense gets a stop, our offense can't do anything and vice versa. But there is so much to be excited about, bro. Nussmeier literally leads the country in passing touchdowns right now. Kyron Lacy looks like he can legitimately win the Biletnikoff. And our defense looks greatly improved, and we're playing a lot of young guys, so I think it's going to be an upward trajectory, and we're going to peak at the right time. Obviously, I'm still frustrated about USC, but we have a chance to right that wrong with the rest of the year, and I think that this team, once they put it together, can be incredibly exciting if you're a Tiger football fan and incredibly terrifying if you're an Ole Piss fan. Speaking of Ole Piss, they haven't played anybody, but what else is new? They beat up on Middle Tennessee on Saturday. Bama beat up on a school called Tennessee Tech, which I didn't even know existed before Saturday. Ole Piss goes to Wake Forest next week, so I assume they're going to consider that one of their tough non-conference games, I guess. Ooh, Wake Forest on the road. Oh my gosh, I'm so impressed by your big muscles, Ole Piss. You keep flexing on us like that. I cannot fucking wait for October 12th in Death Valley. You know what happened last time? In other actually relevant and important news, Iowa State upset Iowa. Just a clean, good old-fashioned rivalry game with some defensive football. Very entertaining game. There was a big hit from an Iowa State player named Dominique Orange, which I just think is such a hard name, especially for a D lineman. I don't know. I can't explain it. Like, some football players just have the coolest fucking names, and it's like, it would be a disappointment if you didn't play football. Like, with that cool of a name written on your back, you have to play football. Ashton Stamps, R.J. Mickens, Dontavian Wicks, and now Dominique Orange. I love the way both of those Iowa teams play defense, man. It just gets me fired up to watch these gang swarming tackles and all these takeaways and whatnot. It reminds me of old SEC football before our conference went full offense. Speaking of upsets, there's obviously a big one that I haven't touched on yet, being NIU going into wherever the fuck Notre Dame is and beating Notre Dame in their home stadium. And to be honest, I don't really have that strong of an opinion towards Notre Dame, so I'm not going to sit here and troll them. I actually really like their coach, Marcus Freeman. I guess it's just they overlooked their opponent. They just got a big win at Kyle Field the week before, so they were fired up about that, and they just got caught in a trap game. Now, they might be cooked for the college football playoff because it's already impossible for them to get a bye since they're not in a conference. They can't win their conference and get the bye. And now they have a huge glaring hole or flaw on their resume that's really going to hurt their seeding. They still get to play Louisville and USC, so those would be 2 quality wins to add to their already quality resume with A&M. But as it pertains to the playoff, Notre Dame is probably one of the teams that can least afford an upset of this magnitude, and they just got handed one, so I mean, I don't really give a fuck. They're not my team, but that sucks. The final college game I'll really talk about is Michigan, Texas, because that's got to be the most predictable outcome of all time. Hey, Michigan, this is what happens when you can't steal signs, buddy. But Texas fans, don't get too excited. Y'all still aren't real SEC football yet. Y'all got to prove yourselves in conference play. It's one thing to beat up on a pussy-ass Big Ten team, but it's a whole nother thing to go into a stadium filled with 100,000 drunk Tiger fans all on their feet, rocking out Death Valley at night. Chance of rain? Never. Also, one more bonus thing. The Florida Gators should absolutely roll with Lagway for the rest of the year. I don't care if Murda Mertz comes back. You got to get some sort of spark. You're going into an absolute gauntlet, the hardest schedule I've ever seen any team play ever. I really think the team has a better chance of rallying behind a young guy. And now I know we're kind of bouncing all over the place, but I'm still trying to figure this whole Monday Night Brew thing out. So let's go back to NFL and talk about all the other teams besides the Saints. And by all the other teams, I just mean the ones I actually want to talk about because I don't have time to go through all 31 other teams. I already did that in a video that no one watched. It's still up on my channel. RIP to all fantasy football Mark Andrews owners, because y'all are cooked. Like, Isaiah Likely is the guy. He is tight end 1. Now, Lamar had made some comments post-game saying that, oh, I thought it was a catch, but it looked like his feet were in. Like, bro, we have instant replay with, like, perfect 4K resolution. We could see that his toe was clearly out, dog. I don't know who you're fooling. And this is coming from somebody who wanted it to be a catch, because I was most certainly cheering for the Ravens and my boy, follower of Christ, Lamar Jackson. And of course, the Lamar Jackson haters are chirping as they always do, just being annoying nuisances buzzing around your ear, giving you little bites like the mosquitoes that they are. Putting the loss on Lamar because he missed that throw to Zay Flowers at the end. But if you look from the QB angle, it's pretty obvious that Lamar expected Zay Flowers to sit in the zone instead of keep running. So that's just a classic week 1 miscommunication that happens. The next game on Friday night was in Brazil, and I honestly believe that that was a great showing for an international audience. It's always important to put our best foot forward when it comes to playing these international games in South America and Europe. And, it's actually a travesty. You have billions of people walking around the earth today who genuinely believe that soccer is the greatest sport on earth. And they even have the audacity to call it football. The gall of these people. But you can't even really be mad at them. You can't hold it against them. They're not from America. They don't know any better. So that's why I said these international games are super important to try to show these people the way, the truth, and the life. And I think the Eagles and Packers did a really good job on Friday. I saw some people on TikTok actually say the contrary because the game was sloppy and had a lot of bad turnovers / takeaways. But I honestly, from a fan's perspective, think that adds to the overall viewing experience of a football game. The game was close. It was high scoring. It was action-packed. Saquon Barkley was absolutely sensational. And it was pretty chippy. I'm not going to lie. There was a lot of extracurricular activities going on after these plays, which I am always going to be a massive fan of. Now let's move on to the Sunday games. Josh Allen yet again put on the Superman cape and willed the Bills past the Cardinals barely. This honestly makes me think that this is going to be another Josh Allen carry job. The Bills are not that good, but Josh Allen's going to will them to the playoffs. And as I've said in a past video, this is the difference between Josh Allen and guys like Joe Burrow, guys like Jaden Daniels, guys like Patrick Mahomes. Josh Allen wants to be Superman, and he can be Superman. But guys like Jaden Daniels and company, they want to be Batman. They want to be Darth Vader. They want to tap into that inner dark side and be a Sith Lord. This is a violent sport, man. You can't be a good guy all the time. Nice guys finish last.
Psych! Thursday, October 31st. The city streets are crowded for the holiday. Even with the rain, hidden in the chaos is the element, waiting to strike like snakes. And I'm there too.
Speaking of Jaden Daniels, he looked phenomenal in his debut. Now, I know the scoreboard indicates otherwise, but you got to watch the game, bro. He was under constant pressure. Their O-line cannot block for shit. And considering the situation around him, he made a lot of plays and didn't make any mistakes. 28 points for my fantasy team, by the way. Come on. Speaking of fantasy teams, Anthony Richardson, you are a bad man. I know you saw that 70-yard bomb off his back foot while he was getting hit by two guys. What a dot. Now, as it pertains to the Joe Burrow, Darth Vader storyline that I was talking about during the offseason, not really off to a great start. But that's kind of like the tragedy of Darth Vader. Like, most of the story is sad until he redeems himself at the end and kills the Emperor. So that's kind of like Joe Burrow. You know, he needs some adversity before, all right, bro, I don't even know what the fuck to say. All right, he just played bad. I'm tired and I'm sick. Over the course of me recording this voiceover, I'm starting to realize that I am kind of sick. I have this little tingle in my throat, but I can't abandon Monday Night Brew on episode 2. We got to keep pushing. But there's not really much else to say. Caleb Williams looked like shit. Yeah, he got the comeback win, but bro, he threw for 93 yards and no touchdowns. I told y'all, Jaden was better. Just like I told y'all Malik Neighbors was better than Marvin Harrison Jr. And look who had the better week 1. Yeah, I'm victory lapping because I know ball, son. All right, I'm not going to keep wasting y'all's time with this nonsense, but these videos are going to be a lot more coherent and make a lot more sense in the future. We're just going to keep working out the kinks. We're kind of like LSU right now. We're just putting the pieces together. We haven't played a complete game yet, and we haven't played the complimentary football that I want to play, but we're getting there, and we have a lot of flashes and a lot of potential. Monday Night Brew is going to be a real scary team by the end of the season. I can promise you that. I appreciate all 111 of you that watched the last episode, and I appreciate you for watching this to the end. Sports Beer Jokes. Come on!